Hello and welcome to iTalk on Euronews, where you ask the questions to the people who make the decisions in Europe. My name's Alex Taylor and I'll make sure you get the answers. This week we have the Artistic Director of Cannes, Thierry Frémaux, and so we're going to talk about the film festival. Thierry Frémaux in Cannes, hello.
Bonjour.
Hello.
A small word initially on European cinema this year. Have you seen any new styles? Where is cinema thriving on the continent at the moment?
First, European cinema remains full of strength, energy and engagement due to its strong tradition, which has made it very influential for a long time. There are also a lot of purchasers, salesmen, distributors and producers who all feed the world of cinema, like in Italy, Spain and France. It makes me glad that there's such a force of cinema in Europe for us to present at Cannes.
Are there any emerging countries in Europe which have impressed you among the thousands of films you've seen from the continent?
Always. Romania, for example, is a country where there are a lot of new exciting directors coming through the ranks. Christian Monju's Palme d'Or in 2007 has been the greatest testament to this vitality, and Romania is a country which understands the benefits of giving to cinema. Hungary is another country which has a great mix of writers, from veterans to emerging talents.
Thierry Frémaux, you have a question on behalf of a Euronews viewer called Frédéric.
I'd like to know if you think that today the Cannes Film Festival is more about indulging in showbiz and press attention, rather than its real purpose, which is namely art house cinema and films.
So are you too showbiz?
No, we're neither too show business or too art house cinema, and that's the kind of schizophrenic paradox that exists in Cannes. Nevertheless, we have to make sure we focus on the showbiz side of things, because that's very important. I suppose you're going to say next, do I think we're too art house? In fact, these are the mainstays of the festival, and we have to achieve the right balance. The other mainstays are the professionals and the market, then obviously the media, the journalists and the critics.
Another question from Bruno in Italy.
I don't think we're doing enough to promote cinema from other continents. Asia and Latin America make lots of interesting films. I'd like to see more if possible.
The Cannes Film Festival does an enormous amount promoting Latin American cinema. In Brazil, in Mexico, in Chile, Argentina and Venezuela, these are all Latin American. As for Asia, nobody's done more than the Cannes Film Festival with Korea, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, Singapore. People shouldn't reduce the argument to there only being dialogue between Europe and Hollywood.
Now, David, who is Spanish and has a question for Thierry.
Hola, soy David Ortiz de España. Mi pregunta es,
hi, so I'd like to know why there's only one American film out of 20 in the entire competition selection.
Nominadas a la competición.
There is a tendency to not include American films in the competition. The explanation for this is simple. For 30 years, America has made films for multiplexes, teenagers and the general public. They don't seem to support more marginal writers. And then, in the 70s, people like Robert Altman, Jerry Shatberg and Martin Scorsese came to Cannes with a film. They'd get a Palme d'Or. Today, it's more difficult. I believe that with regard to Robert or the actors Sean Penn, Brad Pitt or Robert De Niro, you can find a ratio and a connection towards a certain ideal of cinema which is sometimes lost at the studio. studios. This is for reasons of marketing and finance. They're obliged to make films suitable for the general public. But when you compete at Cannes, there is a certain requirement for quality, and it's becoming harder to find American films to meet those requirements.
From Cannes to Paris now, where Bruno has a question.
Bruno de Paris. Je voulais savoir dans quelle mesure...
I want to know, do you always agree with the prize list? And what you've done if you didn't like the choices at all?
Vraiment, le choix ne vous plaisait pas du tout.
So what do you say?
No, I can never say a word. The jury is completely independent. There are meetings at the beginning and at the end of the festival, and a meeting where they establish the prize list. I don't interfere because the jury has to make their decisions independently. During the festival, at all the lunches and dinners, I do come across the jury, but I never speak to them about the selection, so I can't influence them. Then, after they make the prize list, I avoid commenting on it. I don't say whether I agree or not. The prize list is established solemnly and legitimately by the jury, and it's their prize list. In general, it reflects the Cannes opinion, even when there are some differences. Because there are 20 films, it's difficult to choose only 7 prizes, and even more difficult to choose just 1 Palme d'Or. And so it's necessary to accept the principle of it, especially to respect the jury's independence of thought.
Now a question from Lyon.
Up to what point does Cannes give a chance to people who are just starting out and help them integrate into this great festival of cinema? It seems Cannes only focus on people who are known globally, but not people who'd like to be discovered.
It's wrong to say that Cannes does nothing but devote itself to people who are already known. That's a cliché. If you take the official selection, we feature 2 directorial debuts, and if you look at the selection process as a whole, there were 6 or 7 debuts. We've also created the Caméra d'Or, which rewards debut films, and there's the Cinema School, the Movie Foundation. There's also a project and a program called the Short Film Corner, where there's a whole series of devices designed not only to help young writers and young producers, because that's not enough. To make cinema a reality, it's also important to support the emergence of new professionals like the distributors or the producers, and Cannes is full of schemes like these, which make it possible to support a rising generation. Of course, people will always talk a little bit more about Terence Malick or Pedro Almodovar, but Cannes does ensure the younger generation of the cinema of tomorrow is strongly represented.
Thierry Frémaux, a final, more personal question. You see thousands of films to prepare for Cannes in just a few months. Is it difficult to be emotionally moved, or do you have a particular memory from a film, even outside competition?
When I saw the Woody Allen film in January, as you know, Woody Allen is a regular at this festival, I didn't imagine it would impact me on such a level, because the film really wanted to say so much. It tells us that we have to be of our own time, and you have to admire him, because deep down, that's what we're all trying to do. People should learn to be happy again, and through film, we make people happy. We are all of our time, and it's up to us to make a better future. It was very moving, and especially poetic. And for me, it was like a gift. And I knew that after Robert De Niro agreed to be president of the Film Festival jury, we were off to a good start.
Thierry Frémaux, thank you very much. To know who'll be our next guest on iTalk, go onto the website, euronews.net/iTalk. See you next time here at the European Parliament in Brussels.